so good to be back here in South Carolina. At home of the Gamecocks.
The iron Keyshawn soars in from the weak side, however, and flushes that dunk.
There it is.
Driven hard. The Gamecocks will take the series against their rival.
Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Gamecock Insider. I'm your host, Eric Scott, coming to you from Colonial Life Arena. Gamecock men's and women's basketball to get into on this week's edition of the show, plus a lot of other great content that we will cover as well. We start things off, however, like we always do, with our Prisma Health Injury Report. We've got some news to report for both the men's and women's team on that subject. For the women, it's an ankle problem. First off, we told you last week Sanaya Fagan was out with an ankle injury. She's missed 4 consecutive games, but fingers crossed she'll be back and available for Dawn Staley here this weekend. Meanwhile, Talasia Cooper has also run into a bit of an ankle problem herself. It forced her to miss Thursday's contest at Vanderbilt. Hopefully Coach Staley's team is back to 100% and the ankle issues are all out of their system very, very soon. For Carolina men's basketball, the injury of note is a bruised thigh, a deep thigh bruise, if you will, for Hayden Brown, the graduate student who has meant so much to this program from the standpoint of leadership and physicality and, of course, offense and rebounding as well. That forced him to miss the contest last week over the weekend against Texas A&M, and certainly his absence was noteworthy. He got back on the floor on Tuesday against Ole Miss, and hopefully he'll continue to get stronger as things move along and there will be no further problems with that deep thigh bruise. That is your injury report, brought to you by Prisma Health, the official team physicians of your Gamecocks. Now let's talk some women's basketball on the court. You know, it was recently time for the revenge tour. The only 2 squads who knocked off this national championship Gamecock team last year, Kentucky and Missouri. So who were the most recent games against? You guessed it, the Wildcats and the Tigers. Carolina took care of business against UK and then had the opportunity to get a pound of flesh, if you will, in terms of revenge against Mizzou.
Around the perimeter, left side, to Bree Beal. Looking inside, cross-court it to Fletcher around the zone. Going to see a lot of that. Down low to Saxton on the baseline. She'll take the 8-footer and bury it. Bring it in right side to Zaya on the baseline. She'll pull up, buries the 10-footer. And the Gamecocks reclaim the lead, 4-3. Up top to Boston. Boston gets it back. She'll try an 18-footer, and she buries it. A long 2, ties the game at 6. Now to Haley Troop. She'll drive. Cut off at the foul line by Beal. Shot clock at 7. Bounce pass to Kelly, and she walked it. So the Gamecocks will get it on the turnover. And good defensive pressure there by Aaliyah Boston. There's Fletcher. Reversal to the left side. Zia Cook wants 3 from the left wing. No good, but there's Boston with the rebound. Stick back is good. She's fouled. Got the basket. Chance for a 3-point play. 75% foul shooter, and she hits the free throw to make it 9-8. Content to pass it around the perimeter. Beal will take an 18-footer left wing, no good. Boston tips the rebound to herself, knifing her way in, puts it up, left it short, gets her own rebound, sticks it back in. She's fouled. Count the basket.
Yes, indeed, Gamecocks continue their hot play thanks to the dominant inside performance of who else? The All-American Aaliyah Boston, and defeat the Missouri Tigers. Coming back with more of Gamecock Insider in just a moment, we'll meet one of the newbies, and that's after this timeout. It's Gamecock Insider from Learfield.
Gamecock Insider is brought to you by Prisma Health, the official healthcare provider of the Gamecocks, and by Liberty Tap Room. Liberty Tap Room is the new home for Carolina Calls with Gamecock men's and women's basketball. Meet us at Liberty at 6 p.m. on Thursdays during the season for Carolina Calls. Liberty Tap Room and Grill, Cocky's favorite place to eat in the Vista.
Hey, Gamecock fans. I'm Coach Dawn Staley. The best teams are the ones that are always willing to do more. More in the weight room, more in the classroom, more for each other. And it's important for our team doctors to have the same mindset, with access to more locations, more specially trained experts, and more personalized care. Prisma Health is doing even more to care for our team and our fans. Prisma Health, official healthcare system and team physicians for the Gamecocks.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and choose one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs ready for delivery. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
Good morning, America. Today, thousands of our teammates will make and deliver over 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally, in towns large and small. From the heartland to the coast, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a passion and a purpose. We love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
Gamecock fans, Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP game day experience this basketball season. Visit usccontest.com and register for your chance to be Cocky's game day guest. Winners will receive a special invitation to Coach's radio show, tickets to that weekend's game, hotel accommodations, and the unique opportunity to join Cocky on the sideline during pregame. Visit usccontest.com to register today. Cocky's game day guest is brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, here for all your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
Welcome back to Gamecock Insider, everybody. Carolina men's basketball has a lot of new faces. That's why we came up with the Know the Newbies concept. And this week's installment features Benjamin Bosmans-Verdonk. Is he a unique character? Well, I would say so. Not too sure if there's anybody else anywhere in college basketball who's also having to focus so much of his time on law school. Yeah, that's right. Let's find out more as we get to know BBV.
Well, it all really started like 3 years ago when I made the decision to come to the U.S. To play basketball over here. You know, once I came here, you know, it was once I was introduced to college basketball, you know, it was great. But then, you know, after getting my bachelor's at Illinois, kind of wanted to get a bigger role on a team. Like, I graduated with my bachelor's, wanted to go to law school, so coach made it possible for me to get into law school here. Obviously my grades were good, so it wasn't like I finessed my way in, but yeah, they were willing to work with me on both ends, so that's what got me here. I may need a towel, honestly. I just came from lit. I'm sweating so much. I'm so sorry.
No worries at all.
I'm so sorry. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Whew. Yeah. Oh man. I was halfway out of breath too when I was speaking. What's going on? Take two. Hoop dreams have never left my mind. Like, you know, even through the injuries, through it all, through sitting on the bench at Illinois, like, it's never left my mind. I still really believe in my capabilities as a basketball player. And like, if the opportunity presents itself and God says it's my time to go, it'll be my time to go. You know, right now, it'd be a foolish thing to give up on my free education, on a whole law degree, for you know, for a maybe somewhat chance to make it. I get to do this, if that makes sense. And I can always stop, you know, if it gets too hard, but it's not how I'm wired. You know, it's an opportunity that's given to me, and I want to take full advantage. I think it's kind of my role, as well as like any of the other older guys, to you know, lead the team that way. You know, and I'm still figuring out what that necessarily looks like. You know, I very much believe in leading by example, leading from behind, like, you know, asking, okay, like asking myself, like, what can I do for this team to make this team better? So yeah, I think that's where I fit in. You know, just making sure that everybody else gets on that goon level, playing hard and trying to go.
That is Benjamin Bosmans-Verdonk, and we can guarantee you on Gamecocks Plus and maybe even here on our program, you'll be finding out a little bit more about what his daily grind and routine is like in coming weeks. Time for us to tell you about our Terminix Pest Player of the Week. Aaliyah Boston gets mentioned a lot on this show, certainly an All-American, a National Player of the Year candidate. And for Aaliyah, she actually figured out how she could do something that she'd never done before. Back-to-back 20-point games in SEC play for Carolina. That earned her SEC Player of the Week, and certainly our good friends at Terminix are ready to recognize her for her performance as well. So congratulations to Aaliyah on that achievement. We're back with more of Gamecock Insider in just a moment from Learfield.
When you need to find a new roommate, there's a RAV for that. Lease a new 2023 Toyota RAV4 LE for just $309 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
I was perfectly happy where I was. I just coached one of the biggest games of my life. Then, just 3 days later, I was moving to South Carolina. That was unexpected. But that's how life works. Colonial Life's benefits keep you prepared for life's unexpected moments, empowering people to achieve their goals and keep moving forward. Colonial Life, keep unexpecting.
Gamecock fans, Farm Bureau Insurance wants to give you a VIP game day experience this basketball season. Visit usccontest.com and register for your chance to be Cocky's game day guest. Winners will receive a special invitation to Coach's radio show, tickets to that weekend's game, hotel accommodations, and the unique opportunity to join Cocky on the sideline during pregame. Visit usccontest.com to register today. Cocky's game day guest is brought to you by Farm Bureau Insurance, here for all your auto, home, and life insurance needs.
Good hard work has earned Mitch Jeter the title of Colonial Life Academic Athlete of the Week. Mitch is a member of the football team and is studying biological sciences with a 3.53 grade point average. This week's Academic Athlete is brought to you by Colonial Life. Colonial Life, the benefits of good hard work.
Impactful players. Here's G.G. Jackson to the rim and a big dunk. He slipped the screen.
That's your Sansbury. Did you see that play? G.G. Jackson showing off his immense athleticism with a big dunk at Colonial Life Arena to get the fans on their feet. You know, if you go back in time in Gamecock history, there's certain things that stand out. Certainly this phrase does, the hit. And it was 10 years ago. Our anniversary just passed during bowl season, of course, a play that Jadeveon Clowney made not just to make a memory for Gamecock Nation, but really for college football fans everywhere. And our good friends at Gamecock Plus recently had a chance to visit with a lot of famous faces to get their memories of the hit.
Then he signaled first down for Michigan, and I grabbed the other ref and I said, I think he got confused. I think he meant to say our way.
Everyone talks about your play. It was the big hit. It's known as the big hit. I mean, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This play ended up being the greatest ball don't lie play of all time.
People would say the game took care of it on its own.
And the fans have decided the SV goes to...
Clowney said he made some adjustments at halftime that made all the difference for him in the second half. He also said one of the police officers told him that if he made that kind of hit in public, he'd be arrested for it.
And that was definitely a big play of the game, but this was a game with so many big plays. It was one of my favorite games of all time.
He's just a game wrecker if you let him.
All right, Clowney's out, huh? I thought somebody was going to tell me when Clowney's out. I know the old rule, the old saying is there's three sides to every story. There's my side, Clowney's side, and the truth. Really, my side, South Carolina's side, and the truth. Clowney is back in. I hope Clowney's not on the weak side.
Clowney was out on the field, and he came up to me and he said, Coach Warren, they cheating. I said, just calm down today, we'll be fine. We'll be okay.
Spurrier and the boys were absolutely losing their mind.
Obviously, if the game didn't turn out the way it did, probably would have been talked about in a much more negative light.
Man, we felt like we was definitely cheated. Everybody in America could see it was short. I don't know if the ref got paid off. Went up straight to Clowney. And then my exact words was like, man, they cheating us, bro. One of us got to make a play. You know, his exact words were, all right, hold on, watch this.
Wow. Michigan at the 41. What a hit! Ball's free on the ground. South Carolina deserves to have it, and they do.
Clowney just says, I'll take care of business right here. You give me this long.
The biggest memory, you know, is that everyone heard it.
Michigan at the 41. What a hit!
It sounded like a wreck.
Pressure! Clowney just dives in, hits the defender, the ball's on the ground.
I just heard it and I heard the crowd. And then I turned around and I just see him with the ball with his arms folded up like that.
Based on where that D tackle was positioned, I was told to put it into a deuce. A deuce combination is between the tackle and the guard up to the will linebacker. Anybody who's ever played football and knows power football, it's basically close your eyes, go at 1 o'clock, and then run that way. You're probably gonna run the play correctly. I tell the tight end, I said, hey, the play is deuce, which means me and the guard. He whispers over to me, no Trey. Trey means me and him will be combinating Clowney to that backer now. I literally had enough time to say, no, it's a deuce. I go through, I go up to the linebacker, I hit the linebacker, and as my helmet is kissing the other man's helmet, the crowd erupts in a way that I know for a fact that can't be good for us.
And right after the Clowney hit, as everybody calls it, Ace Sanders ran a little in and go for a post route, and Connor Shaw hit him in the back of the end zone. He made a great catch.
First down, South Carolina taking a shot to Ace Sanders in the end zone. Ace! Does he have it?
Turn hard-working days into happy nights. Our battery 8K homeowner system starts at just $199.99. Real STIHL. Find yours at over 10,000 local STIHL dealers.
Hey Gamecock fans, I'm Coach Lamont Paris. The best teams are the ones that are always willing to do more. More in the weight room, more in the classroom, more for each other. And it's important for our team doctors to have the same mindset. With access to more locations, more specially trained experts, and more personalized care, Prisma Health is doing even more to care for our team and our fans. Prisma Health, official healthcare system and team physicians for the Gamecocks.
Dawn Staley has brought a second national championship back to South Carolina.
Throughout my life, my friends and my family have supported me through the championships and the challenges. That's why it's so important for me to lift people up, to help them overcome the obstacles in their way. Colonial Life benefits keep you prepared for life's unexpected moments, empowering people to achieve goals they thought weren't possible. That's what really matters. Colonial Life, keep unexpecting.
When you need to find a new roommate, there's a route for that. Lease a new 2023 Toyota RAV4 LE for just $309 a month for 36 months. Toyota, let's go places.
Welcome back to Gamecock Insider, everybody. I'm your host, Derek Scott. You know, the Gamecock Talk podcast is something you may not yet be familiar with, and we certainly hope you will get familiar with it. I certainly enjoy having a chance to visit with Gamecocks past and present and talk about what they are up to. Recently, we had a visit with Patrick DeMarco. You may remember him from his time as a great Gamecock football player, someone who turned that into an NFL career of great significance, but he's also leaving his mark on the current Carolina football program in a role that is rather unique, and we had a chance to sit down with him and find out more.
I was driving out to practice with my dad, and Coach Spurrier called, and he offered me the scholarship, and you know, I'm a 17-year-old knucklehead kid, and I'm sitting there talking to him, and I'm like, and he offers me the scholarship, we'd love for you to play at University of South Carolina, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, I'm going to meet with a couple other teams at this All-Star game, and let me think about it and pray on it, and I'll get back to you in a couple days. I hung up the phone, and my dad's like, who's that? And I was like, oh, it's Coach Spurrier. And he's like, and elaborate, please, tell me more. And I was like, yeah, he just offered me a scholarship to South Carolina. And he's like, you told him that you'll call him back? You better call that man back right now. So I called him, I waited a couple minutes, but I called him back about 5 minutes later, and I was like, hey, Coach, I thought and prayed about it. I know it's been a little shorter than a couple days, but I want to come play for you guys in South Carolina.
So it's been a long road for you to get here and get back here. Yep. But boy, there's been some interesting stops along the way. So I guess I always like to start with, begin at the beginning. So let's think about where you were when Steve Spurrier began the recruiting process. Yep. Talk a little bit about where that came from. Did you expect to hear from him? Who else was recruiting you, and how you ended up a Gamecock?
Yeah, you're taking me way back here. 2005, 2006. Yeah, I was a two-star prospect down in Orlando, Florida, Altamont Springs at Lake Brantley High School. And really, I wanted to play big-time college football. Both my parents went to Florida. Obviously, I grew up in the swamp going to games. Coach Spurrier was an idol back then. So I went to all the camps through middle school, high school. And I went to a couple showcase camps up here, and I think I caught Coach Hunt, John Hunt's eye, who was the offensive line coach at the time. He came down, I was in his area, he recruited me a little bit, but there was a late offer. I got offered, I think, in November or December. It was after my high school season, my senior year. I was getting ready to go play in one of the All-Star games. I was driving out to practice with my dad, and Coach Spurrier called, and he offered me the scholarship, and you know, I'm a 17-year-old knucklehead kid, and I'm sitting there talking to him, and I'm like, and he offers me the scholarship, we'd love for you to play at University of South Carolina, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, I'm going to meet with a couple other teams at this All-Star game, and let me think about it and pray on it, and I'll get back to you in a couple days. I hung up the phone, and my dad's like, who's that? And I was like, oh, it's Coach Spurrier. And he's like, and elaborate, please, tell me more. And I was like, yeah, he just offered me a scholarship to South Carolina. And he's like, you told him that you'll call him back? You better call that man back right now. So I called him, I waited a couple minutes, but I called him back about 5 minutes later, and I was like, hey, Coach, I thought and prayed about it. I know it's been a little shorter than a couple days, but I want to come play for you guys in South Carolina. And kind of that was the whole process of it. But it wasn't, I mean, I didn't have many big-time offers. This was my only SEC offer. I had all the smaller schools in Florida, UCF, USF, FAU, FIU. Northwestern had some of the Ivy Leagues looking at me, some of the military schools looking at me, some 1AAs. But I was kind of a diamond in the rough sneaking through here, and you know, thank God I did.
When you got here, the question was, is he a tight end? Is he a fullback? Are we going to use a fullback? How is this going to come together? What were you in the high school ranks, and what did you come here expecting to do?
Yeah, so in high school, I predominantly played outside linebacker, defensive end. And I had a pretty good stat line there, but I was 6'1", 215 pounds, and there aren't too many defensive ends in the SEC at 6'1", 215. So I was recruited here as an athlete, whether it be inside backer, fullback, tight end. That was kind of the idea, some physical position where I could come in and impose my will.
Download the Gamecock app and play 3 Points the hard way. Brought to you by Hardee's, with the best made-from-scratch biscuits. If the women's basketball team makes 3 3-pointers in a game, You can score a free sausage biscuit at Hardee's the day after the game during breakfast hours. Get your biscuit at participating Columbia and Spartanburg area Hardee's. Feed your happy and order ahead at Hardee's.com.
Good morning, America. Today, thousands of our teammates will make and deliver over 300 of the world's best brands and flavors, locally, in towns large and small. From the heartland to the coast, our products are moving and our trucks are rolling. We share a passion and a purpose. We love to refresh and serve our communities. We are Coca-Cola Consolidated, your local bottler.
Hey! We wanted to bring by a little gift and say, welcome to the neighborhood.
And we want to invite you guys out this weekend. We're having a little tailgate in the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, go Gamecocks! Woo! Right? Right?
Put it all back. Babe, get your stuff.
Yeah, it matters that much.
There will always be bumps in the road, but we got guts, America. We got freedom. We got power. We got future. So let's drive on and make the future we want to see together. Because your new Ford vehicle is just the start of a journey. So stop by your Ford dealer today and choose one of the thousands of new Ford trucks and SUVs ready for delivery. We've been building this country for 119 years, but we're just getting started.
For over 40 years, Sound & Images has been South Carolina's corporate multimedia partner for live events. Sound & Images is also your resource for commercial audiovisual installations. Help your teams collaborate more efficiently with a custom-crafted AV solution from Sound & Images. Whether you want a single monitor upgrade or a turnkey AV system, we are dedicated to helping you incorporate easy-to-use technology into your space. And we offer the best-in-class support and service. Elevate your AV. Call Sound & Images today.
Gamecock Insider is brought to you by Prisma Health, the official healthcare provider of the Gamecocks, and by Liberty Tap Room. Liberty Tap Room is the new home for Carolina Calls with Gamecock men's and women's basketball. Meet us at Liberty at 6 p.m. on Thursdays during the season for Carolina Calls. Liberty Tap Room and Grill, Cocky's favorite place to eat in the Vista.
We're back to wrap things up on this week's edition of Gamecock Insider. When we do that, we always wrap it up with our friends at Toyota as we go on the road. Who's traveling this week? Well, Gamecock men's basketball, after having the opportunity to play 3 straight home games. That means you usually end up going out on the road for multiple games. That will be the case this week. Carolina will go midweek to Florida to take on the Gators on Wednesday. And then Saturday, it's a bus ride over to Athens, GA to match up with a much improved Georgia Bulldogs team that South Carolina has a significant winning streak against. That's what's coming up, and that is on the road with Toyota. Let's go places. That will also wrap things up for us this week on the program. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm your host, Derek Scott. We'll see you next week for more of Gamecock Insider.
This has been an exclusive presentation from Learfield.